Desiree with theastrologyaddiction.com, and thank you so much for watching. Today's video is going to be on your moon sign through the 12 houses of astrology. So there are 12 houses in your astrology chart. If you can pull your chart, you'll be able to see which house your moon is in. And I do use whole sign houses, so definitely pull your chart in that way for reference. And the moon in our charts shows us how, we are emotionally satisfied, what we need to be emotionally happy, what we need to be, to feel nurtured, usually what we look for somewhat in a partner. We need to find someone who accepts us for our emotions and who can understand us for our emotions as well. And definitely someone who is sensitive to our emotions. So if you have your moon in the first house, you'll be someone who needs to find emotional stability through themselves, through self-confidence. They may be someone who struggles with, being alone, or who struggles with strengthening their own emotional nature by themselves. Maybe they look towards their parents or their partner to, help them get through emotional struggles and maybe even traumas that they have had. So it's really important for them to be alone and, to find how to be stable emotionally on their own without the help of anyone else. You can't be codependent on people for your emotional happiness and your emotional security. And that's definitely something that comes up and that they usually have to learn through partnerships and through just isolation and, learning to be by themselves. Now, your moon in the second house, you will probably be someone who finds a lot of emotional stability and happiness through your material possessions, having a savings account, having a nice home that you are able to create a really warm and cozy feeling in. And there are definitely people who can even rely a little bit too much on their physical possessions. They can sometimes have a hard time seeing past the material world and what they own and get more into the depths of things with people because that is where they are more comfortable. They can sometimes have, an emotional issue here because of maybe being very poor or growing up in poverty or growing up just without enough food and, without a safe place to live. Maybe they were an orphan or something like that. So it's certainly an issue that the more they, realize that they're safe in themselves emotionally, as long as they can stay, consistent and stable without all of their possessions. Of course, we need our basic human needs, but these people tend to go to the extreme with, needing luxury things and needing material items to feel happy emotionally. These would be the people who go out and go shopping if they're having, an emotional breakdown or if they're depressed. Now, number 3, these people in the third house, if you have your moon here, they will be people who have usually a really good or just some type of an intense emotional relationship with their siblings or in their neighborhood somehow. If they are involved in some type of a community organization, this can definitely make them feel very emotionally happy, like they're contributing to their, their neighborhood and to society. But they can also find a lot of emotional happiness through learning and through reading and books and just any type of learning that they're able to do on a consistent basis. They may be people who are a little bit more safe and comfortable at home or with family, with siblings, than they would be out, traveling the world. Since the third house is opposite to the ninth house, ninth house is foreign travel, going to different countries and different lands and experiencing that. It's more emotionally safe for them to stay in their little neighborhood and with their siblings and their family and, having a close bond in that way. I could see these people being someone who, maybe lives down the street from their sister or from their mom, or just, wanting to stay really close in their neighborhood because they have such an emotional connection to where they were born. Now, in the fourth house, having your moon here, these people usually have some type of an emotional tie, whether it's positive or negative, to their most, nurturing parent, whether it's the mother or father or grandmother or something like that. They've maybe had a severely emotional tie to them, probably the mother. To these people, their home environment, where they settle down and where they build a home is very important to them emotionally. They're someone who is out in, if they don't have a place to live where they feel safe and comfortable and nurtured, they are not going to be happy. So they're always looking for home. And maybe it's with different relationships, with different people in different cities, in different jobs. They're just always looking for home to feel emotionally happy. And if they have been able to find and realize that home is a place, within themselves, and emotionally they can understand that it's not a place they go, sometimes that's the struggle that these people will have. Now, in the 5th house, your moon in the 5th house, these people are usually very creative and fun-loving people who love, a good laugh and who love to have romantic relationships. They love to have fun, and this really makes them emotionally happy. If they don't have some type of a romantic pursuit or something that they're really passionate creatively about in their life, they will definitely not be very emotionally happy. If they don't have some type of a romance or creative goal that they're pursuing, or a hobby even that they're able to have, they will definitely be a little more sad. These people also, if they don't get to nurture their hobby, they will be definitely very emotionally distraught. For them, their hobbies, their creativity, the fun of life, it really needs to be there for them to have true happiness and to have that true emotional stability. But they also have to, I think they have to learn in this life too, that, life isn't all about fun. You have to still take care of your emotions and learn how to be stable, even if you're not having fun all the time, and if things aren't lighthearted, and if you're not able to create, if you're in a state where you have to be more rigid and responsible and do the things you have to do for a long period of time, you still have to, try to have that balanced emotional life. And that can be something that they, struggle with, that balance. Now, having your moon in the 6th house, these people will definitely feel very emotionally happy when they have a healthy daily routine and a daily schedule. These people emotionally really need like a calendar, a schedule book to do their daily tasks. That will make them feel very happy and emotionally stable. Also, if they have a really great career that they are passionate about, or just their daily habits, if they have something like gardening or taking care of their pets, or, of course, working and building their career, those types of things are just so crucial to a moon in the 6th house happiness, because emotionally they just need to be, their daily routines really need to be balanced and healthy, and they have to have purpose in that. They have to have something that's emotionally fulfilling that they find from that. So if they have a really bad job, or they hate their boss, they hate what they're doing, they find it tedious and just unfulfilling, they will be very emotionally unhappy, even depressed. Sometimes these people put too much value on their work and their daily, their daily work that they're doing. They might have to learn a little bit about letting go of putting so much value, especially their self-worth, into their career and into their work. They have to find that happiness through something else, gardening, artistic pursuits, friendships, relationships. They have to get that happiness and emotional connection through something else besides work. Now, a moon in the 7th house, these people feel very happy and fulfilled when they are in a partnership, in a relationship, in a romantic partnership especially. They can also get this same type of emotional satisfaction from business partnerships and from just having overall balance in their life. They're people who really need partnership to feel fulfilled and happy. And sometimes a part of the lesson here is that they are learning to be emotionally satisfied by themselves and without relying so much on the other and on other people to help them, emotionally. They can even be sometimes codependent on relationships and partnerships for their own happiness and for their emotional security. They really enjoy, being out and about, being social. They enjoy having a great social life and having a lot of friends. And they find definitely real, true, happiness and emotional fulfillment from that. If they are more of in a loner state, say they move to a new city or they move somewhere new, they really need to find that social connection and that social networking and relationships in a new place that they would be living, because they would feel, more sad if they don't have that connection. Now, moon in the 8th house, these people can definitely be people who have had to deal with a lot of emotional turmoil throughout their life, and maybe through childhood they had, traumatic experiences, abuse, or just a lot of drama, even in their relationships or with their parents or family members, or just with the darkness of life. You know, they can be people who really understand that, you know, really understand that things happen to people and it's not always, things aren't always bubbly and bright and positive. A lot of times these people are great artists. They use that darkness in a way that to help them get through it emotionally. Usually they are able to put that into some type of a creative aspect or an artistic pursuit. These people also can, when they do get into more sad states, can get really intense into that and stick with it. You know, if something like death happens to them, or if they're having really difficult financial trouble, they can become very sad and emotional. They also are usually people who get into partnerships and connections with people for, you know, money. Not necessarily like the only reason that they would be with someone, but 8th house is other people's money, so they can find, you know, emotional security and satisfaction when they are with a partner who has, you know, that base level of their needs met. You know, they have a job, they have a house, they can support them in that way with just the basic necessities. That'll be something that's maybe they sometimes end up leading into. Sometimes these people also can really seethe in some of their darkness and some of their sadness if they are on the lower frequency of this, because emotionally that's what they're used to and that's what they're comfortable with. So sometimes they will regress back into that, you know, want for that emotional fulfillment. Maybe just a stable relationship, something peaceful, is not really what they are comfortable with. They're used to more of the trauma and the fighting and the really darker things that people have experiences with in their life. So these people are definitely more emotionally intense than some of the other signs. Now, moon in the 9th house, these people definitely find a lot of emotional fulfillment through learning and through education, especially higher education, university, or if they're able to study, you know, through a work program that they have. They also love to travel. They will find satisfaction, especially emotionally, through traveling to other countries and experiencing other cultures. A lot of times these people will marry and find partners who are foreign, or when they're traveling to foreign places, they will find their marriage partner, because a lot of times the moon is representative of maybe the woman partner. So for a man, his moon, you know, that would be something that would happen, is he would find his marriage partner through foreign travel. These people will find a lot of happiness through being more of a nomad or a philosopher. That's usually sometimes what you will find these, you know, people doing that have a moon in the 9th house, or just being someone who dreams really big. You know, they're people who have a vision. They are people who definitely see the big picture. Now, moon in the 10th house, these people will be very career oriented. Their 10th house, you know, is our public image and our career. So usually in the public sphere, people can even sometimes see them as being emotional if they're not, you know, repressing that. They get most of their, you know, emotional satisfaction through image and how people see them. They can even really aspire to fame and to wanting people to recognize them. That can give them a lot of emotional satisfaction and emotional happiness. These people also can sometimes have a close relationship or an intense emotional relationship with their father or grandfather, you know, more of the disciplinarian in their life from, you know, an early age. A lot of times, you know, they will have some of their most emotional experiences through their career and the pursuit of their career. Maybe they meet some partners through career. They could be the type, as a man, who meets his wife or his love interests, or people who, you know, he emotionally connects with really well through career. And women as well, they can find healing and emotional connection a lot of times through their career when they have the moon in the 10th house. Now, moon in the 11th house, these people will be very friends oriented. You know, they want to have great emotional relationships with their friends. They can be people who are overall happy-go-lucky. They're very hopeful people. You know, the 11th house has to do with friends, your hopes, even gifts. You know, these people can love giving gifts, love receiving gifts. They can find a lot of emotional happiness through that. They may be someone who is a social butterfly, or even gets involved in community organizations that they are able to make a big difference in, making a difference in their community on a larger scale, maybe being a politician or being some type of, you know, PTA organizer, whatever it is in your community, you know, that would be something they would really find happiness through and find that emotional fulfillment from giving back in that way. Now, moon in the 12th house, the 12th house is hidden and it is a little bit more difficult. These people can sometimes have some emotional trauma or pain or emotional, you know, issues that they have to overcome. Not always, you know, not always. Sometimes they can have things that are very clear that they're able to, you know, overcome, but it usually stems from a place of having to dig a little bit, having to kind of pull out the string and clean the pieces off of your life. You know, there's things that maybe were repressed emotionally that these people, you know, have to kind of open their eyes to and heal from before they can have that emotional fulfillment and that emotional happiness that they really desire. The 12th house is suffering and enemies, so sometimes they can have people who are hidden in their life who want to hurt them, you know, who are jealous of them or that want to, you know, emotionally fight with them or cause some issues with them so they can be working behind the scenes against you. So it's definitely important for these people to be cautious of who they let into their space. You know, not having, these aren't the people that are friends with everyone. They can be friendly and nice to people, but they keep their emotional side more to themselves. And they deal with that, you know, on the inside. They don't just put their emotions out there and connect with whoever's around, because it's not something that they've had good experiences with in the past. So trusting people, cleansing the unconscious is really important for these people to have true emotional happiness throughout their lives. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you have any comments or requests or feedback, please leave them below. Please also like and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, my link is in the description box. Have a good day. Bye.